Hello everyone and welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez and this is my Moonday Oracle message of guidance or insight for the collective. And this is for the week of November 24th, 2025, so the week of Thanksgiving here in the States. So if you have never been to watch one of my Moon Days before, welcome and thank you for being here. So how it works is I like to take, kind of a couple minutes out of the day and just call in a message of guidance and insight for us as a collective. It is more of a generalized message or overview for all of us as to what it is that we need to know moving through the energy of the week that is going to best assist us in flowing harmoniously versus kind of being unaware of what's going on energetically or what the highest guidance is for us. We could then, if you will, kind of struggle against the current. And as I always say, awareness is power. When you have a bit of an understanding as to what is going on, or just, sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. It never fails. When I start reading, never fails. But, when you have a bit of that awareness, it helps you be present with it. It helps you be mindful of what's going on and just helps you to work with that energy as best as you can. All right. So before I really get into pulling the message utilizing oracle cards and my own intuitive abilities, I am going to just give it a moment and allow for people to see that I'm live, as this is not my ordinary time to be going live, as I do try to go around about between 6 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays, although it is not every Monday, as I kind of just go in divine flow as to when I can be here, when it feels energetically right, and when it doesn't, I don't read. All right. So for those of you who are returning, thank you again for always being here, always being supportive of the work that I do. And love how we can energetically always connect. So hello, my beautiful soul sister. Hey, Lynette. Welcome, goddess. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Can you hear me okay? How's everything on the technical end over there? So as I said, it is Thanksgiving week here in the States. So, we always go into it's an opportunity for us all to be grateful. And, yes, we should do that all the time. As most people will say, you should always be reflective on what you're grateful for and the beautiful blessings that you have in your life. Yes. However, again, we're human and we tend to be swept up in the mundane or in life circumstances, and we're not always grounded and we're not always present. So having days, holidays, events like this really does force you to be present. It forces you to become mindful, right? So if anything, we can take away that from, this holiday, that instead of sounding so cliche, right, is you could look at it with the perspective of it just allows us to really pause and to come into really what's important, being surrounded by those you love, whether they be family or friends or other. Just being surrounded by those that you love, having that time out of all of the other stuff going on in your regular life, right? So obviously, this is a big week for being more mindful of the beautiful blessings that you do have in your life. And also, because we just came off that Scorpio new moon last week, we are transitioning out of and into Sagittarius energy now, as the sun is entering, or has entered, I do believe already, the sign of Sagittarius. So it's like moving out of, like, Scorpio allows us to go deep, to confront a lot of things that we, and ordinarily we would shy away from. And it also pushes us to get brutally honest with ourselves and situations, and helps us close doors on things that can't go with us into the next cycle, right? So when we move into the fire energy of Sagittarius, it is prepping us to, the Scorpio new moon there, prepped us, and even the Scorpio sun energy that we had, prepped and paved the way for us to do the essential work, for us to then move into the fire, ambition, inspiration, motivational, and getting focused energy of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius's energy is also pretty fly by the seat of your pants. It's very free-spirited energy, and sometimes it doesn't, again, this doesn't matter what your signs are, guys, because we all have this energy somewhere in our natal charts. And there's either it's in one of your houses or your planets or your asteroids or something or other. So there's always something that we're all being impacted and influenced by with it. So a lot of times we will be very, and rightfully so, sometimes it's important for us to be very methodical, very logical about approaches in life. Sagittarius helps us to get out of our head and get into our hearts and get into our sacral fire, what our passions are. And it helps us to hone in with that arrow that you often see it with, and aim for that target and then fly towards it, right? So it helps us motivate and move into the new beginnings and the new pathways that are now here and available to us all. All right. So also with that energy of Sagittarius, it lets us let it, well, one, it is the half horse, half human, or man, as it's often depicted as, symbolism. So it's showing us to be more like the energy of the horse, which interestingly, 2026, we're moving into with the Chinese astrology year of the horse, right? So helping us to liberate ourselves, to be more free-spirited, to also help us move forward in our lives, right? So pretty potent stuff that we are basically on the precipice of, but it's already happening. This is all, it's a symbiotic, magical conjunction of alignments that just, it's not one or the other. It's all working in tandem for us all, and it has been for the entirety of the year, or the entirety of your life, really. So with that said, let me just acknowledge, hello Laura, hi Eleanor, welcome, thank you for being here, appreciate you beautiful souls. Well, okay, good, thank you, you could hear me as well, good. Lynette says everything is Mercury touched but grand, baby. Congratulations, sweetheart, I saw that, congratulations. And yes, you know, being born under a Mercury retrograde, I have some theories about that, because I myself am born under a Mercury retrograde, as was my late husband. And I noticed, now I'm not going to watch me like tempt fate here, so knocking on wood. Everybody witnessed it. I knocked on wood. I tend to have a better time of things when Mercury is actually retrograde. Now, it's not all of them, because, you know, there's cosmic mashups happen, and they influence retrograde to be a little different, and obviously whatever sign it's in influences it to be a little different as well. So some are sometimes a little stickier than others, but for the majority of it, I will say that I tend to have a better time during Mercury retrograde. So keep that in mind for baby. All right. All right, everybody. So with that said, these readings, for those of you who are new, are meant to find you in exact divine timing. So it doesn't matter if you're watching this live or on the replay, you are here when you're most meant to receive whatever information or messages might come through here. And what resonates with you, wonderful. What does not resonate with you, throw it out, all right? It is just one aspect of a bigger, greater plan. So if it works, great. If not, that's okay too, all right? So with that said, these readings are for the collective. They are not individual readings that I'm doing here for everybody. However, I do offer individual card readings. If you are interested, you can always send me a message or comment here, and I can contact you with how the readings will work, as they do happen remotely across space and time, as we're doing this reading across space and time, through Zoom or pre-recorded. However, I am booked with 2026 readings at the moment until I'm guesstimating about the end of December, maybe potentially first week of January. The readings are still open because those readings can still happen through the month of January. So if you do really want them, you have not missed out. However, the early bird special pricing of $99 for this 2-hour pre-recorded month by month breakdown of a reading for your year ahead is going to be, again, for that early bird only up until December 1st. After December 1st, the price does jump up. So if you're interested, shoot me a message and I will get the information as to how you can book that with me. If you would just like a regular generalized reading or have a specific question sort of that you would like a reading for, I can always schedule that with you as well, but it wouldn't be out until January, but it's still good to get it on the calendar. This way you can jump in as soon as my bookings are done. You can jump right in and get that reading there, okay? Other than that, we're going to go ahead and get into this reading. So just taking a quick minute, going to guide you to just be mindful of your volume that you're listening to this on, because I am going to use my angel tuning forks to help to open space and raise the vibration energetically and in the space that I'm doing this reading in. So be mindful of your ears. Nice deep breath in and release as we create divine, protected, and sacred space for only that in which is authentically aligned with all those who are here that are in most need of receiving or hearing these messages for their highest and greatest potential only. And so it is. All right, so for the reading this week, I am working with the Green Witches Oracle deck, and this is by Erin Murphy Hiscock. All right, so let's see what's all going on. The energy of this week. All right, what guidance and insight comes forward for the collective's highest and greatest good this week of November 24th, 2025? Oops. Okay. It literally flew right out here on my chest like this. Interesting. Ooh, lavender. Okay. Tranquility, kindness, self-care. This is interesting. Beautiful card. I love this. I love how the lavender plant is surrounded by these beautiful crystals, almost as though they are planted in the earth, helping to and into its roots, actually, which I've never noticed before, helping it, I'd imagine, to heal, to regenerate new growth, and to helping also probably because plants are incredibly sensitive energetically. We know that there have been studies where people have spoken harshly to plants or set them in very harsher negative environments, and the plants have died or wilted and have not done well, versus environments where people have spoke lovingly to their plants every day, have put them in very positive environments and brought in like beautiful sound frequencies and things, and these plants have thrived. So one, I think that's a beautiful message for all of us to pay attention to the plants in your home. Obviously, the ones outside, they're dying right now, right? Wherever you, depending upon where you are because of the change in the weather. However, in your home, if you have plants in your home, pay attention to those, okay? If you notice that they are struggling, what's going on in your environment? Has there been heavier energy lately? Has there been a lot of stress? Has there been some arguments? Has there just been a lack of warmth because of busy, can't focus, overwhelmed? Your plants will reflect the energy in your space. So it's a good idea to cleanse and clear the space. What a wonderful thing to do before we move into, or as we move into, a new timeline for ourselves. Or like I said before, when I talked about Sagittarius in the beginning of the message here, this is the path now that is already here. It's already anchored. You've already closed the door, whether you participated in it or not, whether you want to do it or not. The door to the old has already been closed, right? How easy or difficult that will be for you to flow into the new path is up to how well you choose to accept, let go, or resist and fight against what is, right? Which is not an easy thing, right? But being mindful every day and being aware every day will help. So as you do this, clearing your energy in your home is wonderful. So you can do that using sound, as you just saw me do with the tuning forks. If you don't have access to tuning forks, you can use bells or chimes. You can put on your TV really loudly sound frequencies, like on YouTube. You can just do a quick little search for sound frequencies to clear space or raise vibration. You can put that on. You can use herbs and work with them, such as white sage, palo santo, cedar, rosemary, mugwort. You can use all of this to cleanse your space, and not just in one room. I would do it in all rooms, even if it's only one room where you're noticing your plants are not really thriving. Now, the same could be said for you. The plant could be the metaphorical representation of your own self and your own energy field and what you might not be aware of. So even if you don't have plants in your home, this message is showing us all that we are the plant that needs to be nurtured. So this is a great time to ask yourself this week, how am I being nurtured or not nurturing myself? How am I feeling? Am I feeling like my growth is being facilitated? Or am I feeling very wilted, very run down, very lack of energy? Those are your cues to work with cleansing of your own energy field, right? The same way that I've just recommended. But also, if you have crystals, those crystals and bringing them into your environment, depending upon which ones that you choose to work with, I'll go over that in a second. But working with crystals can also, keeping them on your body, they can actually help to cleanse negative energy from your auric field or electromagnetic field. They can do that in your home as well. You can actually use them to help you focus better on, certain crystals will help you focus. You can use them to shield and protect your energy also. And some crystals will also help you to revitalize and nurture and bring in energy to your own energy field and to your person to help give you that battery charge, if you will. So you can work with crystals to help you in that way. You can find some time to just ground yourself, to take a nurturing salt bath or an herbal soak, or if you don't have a bath, you could do it with the shower and just have like a little satchel full of like Himalayan salt or sea salt and have that just running over you. Obviously, everybody do your own research, because what works for one may not work for everybody. And if there's medication involved, sometimes salt can be incredibly detoxing. So it could, they say, have an effect or impact on medications. So again, do your own research and find the way that works the best for you. But this is a great opportunity for you to also let yourself rest this week. A lot of people have some time off. Very rarely for me, I actually have a week off of line dancing this week. Well, with the exception of the weekend, but for the whole week, I actually somehow just managed to have the entire week off of line dancing, which does not happen. So I am going to take that as a blessing, that it is my higher self giving my body, giving my mind, and giving my feet the opportunity to rest and just regroup, recharge. I do have readings to do, so everybody with those 2026 readings, I'm working, and you will be my focus this week. So readings will be coming out the wazoo, everybody. So that gives me the opportunity to be able to do something different, to focus my energy on something different, but at the same time, nurturing myself and asking, where do I need to, again, allow myself time to rest? Where do I need to focus my energy on? Where is it best focused on? These are great questions for all of us this week. Tranquility is the message that was on the card. Kindness and self-care. So it's really important for you to be kind to yourself. Take care of you. Holidays are like a program for us all to go crazy and lose our damn minds, and that is not normal or healthy. But for some reason we have this bar that we all try to like live up to, that who said who said it had to be like that? Who said you had to go insane, making yourself crazy, overtaxing yourself on your time off to slave for hours and hours and hours? I'm going to say this week, my friends, doesn't mean you can't still do that. Doesn't mean that you can't still cook for your family or have people over. But don't go nuts cleaning. Don't go nuts scrubbing every little single cobweb and piece of dust or this or that, or just do what the bare minimum of what needs to be, obviously sanitary for people to come over, but who cares? Your family loves you unconditionally, right? Or they should. So if not, where are you nurturing yourself in that? Okay. But work smarter, not harder. It does not have to be. It's like what we do with the holidays, with Christmas, right? You've got this one, that one, this one, that one. You got to be more presents than last year. Got to be there's this like toxic mindset and programming surrounding holidays, and it shouldn't be that way. It should just be filled with love, with giving, with receiving, and blessings, and just taking that time to enjoy it as well. All right. Now, the last part of this message I'm going to make really short and sweet is, where are you nurturing your potential in this beautiful newfound reality that is now anchored here for you? What does that look like to you? It's okay if you don't know it yet. It's okay if you can't fully see the whole picture. You're not meant to. It's still in process of showing itself and revealing itself. And in fact, you are creating it as you proceed. All right. So what do you want it to look like? What has been presenting itself? It's so important to get focused on, there's that Sagittarius energy, so important to get focused on at least what you do want, right? And be clear about that. That doesn't mean it is going to happen the way you want it to, okay? So be open enough and flexible enough to allow the universe and to allow yourself to receive the way the universe needs to send it to you, right? It needs to, the way it needs to be created or facilitated. Otherwise, you could block it, right? So just be open, right? Fluid. Allow yourself to just go in flow while focusing on the main part of what you want the picture to look, well, not what you want it to look like, but what you would like, what you desire, right? And then just let your arrow fly. You have no control over when it, like exact precise timing that it lands, or any external influences that may affect the flow of that arrow. Because after you let that arrow go, it's out of your hands. And that's exactly what Sagittarius's message is for us all as we flow into its season, right? So how do you nurture it? How do you grow it? This is a great opportunity for you to start looking at what is going with and what is not going with you. All right? And growing yourself that way. It's like the plant where its leaves, some of them will start to wilt, right? That plant will wither and die if we don't take off some of the dead foliage. The rest of it will be free to thrive. That's what we have to do within ourselves, with our behaviors, our beliefs, our patterns, and with everything around us. All right? So with that said, that was our message for the week, everybody. It was lavender. So it's all about taking care of yourself, being kind to yourself, obviously being kind to others. But that has to do, and that goes into everything with planning, attending, anything to do with holidays. Don't make yourself crazy, because that actually taxes your energy, drains your energy, and can open you up to illness when you are not letting your energy or your mind rest. Okay? Hello, Dawn. Thanks for being here, sweetheart. You can catch everything back on replay, as you know, and those of you watching this back on replay, thank you so much for doing so. I wish you all a blessed Thanksgiving and a blessed week, no matter where you are in the world, and thank you for watching. Take care.